Hey everybody, and good morning. Welcome to Q&A, live Q&A on the Dice Tower. Give me a second to get my comments up here. All righty. Well, we're ready to go. And for those of you who normally watch, I do a Q&A once a week, and we're going to start having the other folks here at the studio do some Q&As. You saw Mike did one last week, so you'll see more of those pop up as time goes by. But for now, Monday is still my spot, and here's where I answer questions and just talk about them to various folks out there, and there we go from there. It is a rainy day finally. Last week, the weather here was gorgeous. A gorgeous week indeed, and now the hot weather is here, which is fine. I don't mind hot weather either. Crumbs on my shirt. No, I was not eating cookies. It's lunchtime. You don't eat cookies for lunch. Let's see some questions here. Here we go. When you play Marvel United solo, do you use the shield solo mode? No, I play three-handed. I play three characters. That's just how I play. How is the big studio move going? Well, just waiting to hear from the bank at this point. So we'll see. We're hoping that it will be soon. What would you like to see in the X-Men United Kickstarter? Well, now I can tell you I would like to see there to be a way for you to do the Sinister Six mode, but with multiple different bad guys. Or at least another group for the Sinister Six, whether it's the, Mr. Sinister's, how about Mr. Sinister's Six? What are they called? Not the Marauders. Or they were called the Marauders. They were called the Marauders, but he had another group. I can't remember what it was called. Doesn't matter. Do you think U.S. Agent forgot to read the employee handbook before becoming Captain America? Folks, I read the comics here, so I knew who U.S. Agent was from the beginning. So it's not that there's a new thing here going on. I'm sad Scarlet Witch was so low on your character list. Here's the deal, though. I made that list of all, and we're talking about Marvel United here. I made the list of all the different characters of Marvel United, but the fact is, they're all good. It's not like I think any of them are bad. I just like to play some less than others, but I'd play pretty much anybody. Thanks for changing my Marvel's name to Chocolate Swirl. That's right, and you won last week. Very exciting. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the marble races. I'm just putting this up here real quickly because I have no idea what any of this means. Let's see here. Will I be watching the new Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time TV shows when they're released? Probably. I don't know. Depends when they come out and stuff like that. I love Wheel of Time. But man, it has a lot of problems, a lot of warts. I hope that they would fix those before they go to the show. There's no spoilers being happened, folks. I think the biggest thing with spoilers is people who know when you talk about things are spoilers shout, that's a spoiler, therefore confirming that it's a spoiler. So let's say, for example, a new game came out, Pandemic Legacy Season 4, and there was giant mechs in it. And I was talking like, hey, I just played a game the other day that had big mechs in it, and it was really fun. And someone shouts, spoiler! They're the ones who spoiled something, not me. You don't know what game I was talking about. So, am I still playing Marvel Champions? I'm not currently at the moment, but Z and Roy are both playing it. Marvel United has renewed my interest in comic books. I bought 6 over the weekend. Have you read anything that you'd recommend? You mean like recently? I don't know. Recently, I don't know if I've read any modern stuff, but I always recommend people read the Civil War. It's a really good. Actually, you should read Avengers Disassembled. It doesn't really. You don't need a whole lot of background to understand everything that happened in Avengers Disassembled, but read Avengers Disassembled, then read House of M, then read Civil War. It's a good 1, 2, 3 punch. You could even skip House of M to go to Civil War. But knowing what happened in Avengers Disassembled helps a little bit for Civil War. You could just read straight Civil War. Regarding Summoner Wars, do you prefer to keep the faction decks together or customize your own? I usually keep them together. I mean, I customize my own occasionally. If you're talking about the new Summoner Wars 2, you can't really deck build with it yet. Out of the box, it just has 6 decks. I know this because I'm talking about it. As soon as we're done with this Q&A, I'll be working on the video for Summoner Wars. For games that do not already contain them, do you prefer separating components into their own piles or dump them all into a big bowl and pass it around? I don't understand that question at all. That's 2 questions today I haven't understood. What do you mean, dump them into a big bowl and pass it around? My favorite video game to play with my kids? Good Job. We have a lot of fun playing that one together. You probably haven't heard of it. It's on Switch. It's a cheap little game, but it is hilarious. You look it up. Good Job. It's really fun. Do you think Marvel games will reach the same saturation and fatigue as roll and writes? I don't think so, but that's mostly because to make a Marvel game, you need to get the Marvel license. Also, how many Marvel games are there? Like 10? I mean, that have come out recently. I know there's probably a list of 30 Marvel games. There's literally 300 plus roll and writes. It's not even close. Roll and writes are really cheap and easy to do. You could probably design a roll and write in a night. You can't necessarily do that. Now, I'm not saying is there too many Marvel games? I don't know. I mean, I've talked a lot about Marvel United this past week. I'm not talking about it all this week, except apparently in this Q&A. But we're talking about other games this week and not talking about anything Marvel. I don't have anything Marvel on my schedule at all. But there are roll and writes in my schedule, for sure. I think it's because I talked so much about Marvel United last week. And I get that some people didn't like that, but I really liked the game and I wanted to talk about it. But I'll move on to other things. I'm talking about Summoner Wars this week. Just one day, though. What was the best thing I ate this weekend? Some Tamori shrimp? Probably. That was really good. All right, I'm going to say this real quickly here because I normally don't answer this question, but I'll just answer it because it's been a while since I answered it, but this is my FAQ. I'm not answering this question, and I'll tell you why. Every kid is different. Every kid plays games at a different age. And seriously, when you have a baby, I don't know how to emphasize enough why are you thinking about this? This is not like just wait, kid. As soon as you get old enough, you're going to be my next gaming partner. They might not like games. The daughter who I get along with the best emotionally, for whatever reason, is my daughter, Amy. She calls. We have a great time. We get along famously. She does not like board games pretty much at all. She'll play them occasionally, but she doesn't like them at all. That's fine by me. I really am hesitant when people are like, what age do I start? You can play a game with a kid when you think they're ready for it, whatever. Play games with your kids, but don't be like pre-planning their life. Are you also pre-planning when you're going to start them for piano lessons and when you're going to start them for, learning algebra and all these other things? I think we have to be a little cautious on that. But the biggest thing is every kid's different. Would I buy DC Champions or DC United? I would buy a DC United. I would love mixing the group of them. It seems like everyone picks on Mike. Well, I think we all pick on each other fairly equally. You just see that happening more. We try to pick on each other, but everything you see on camera is pretty much the same as it is here in person. We all get along really well. We're having a great time. I was just jawing with the guys as we were all together in the studio. We're just having a fun time. How's Fuzzy doing? How big? Fuzzy's pretty big at this point. I would assume, I know that you're technically not full grown till 3 years or something like that, but she's now a year old. And She's almost full size. Pretty big, the same size, I mean, as a female German Shepherd, not too big. And she seems to be doing fine. She didn't eat much yesterday, but who knows why. Hi, Tom. I like to separate my resources. Great. I guess I'm still confused, though. I mean, are you saying some people have all the resources in one big bowl? I never do that. I like to have my resources spread out. Top 5 potato chip flavors. You say that's random, but I've definitely done this before. I just had a new brand, though. We stopped at Subway, and they had this, what was that? It was lime cracked pepper. That was a pretty good one. But off the top of my head, I don't know my favorite. I like Bay, Old Bay. I like pickle chips. I like ketchup chips a lot. Hot dog chips aren't bad. Those chicken and waffle chips weren't terrible. I don't know though. Mesquite barbecue is really good. Salt and vinegar. And you guys are really worried about these cookies. There's extra cookies left over for anyone who wants one. You recently said that you're enjoying OPM with your kids, but in the past you said you like AOT. Have you continued watching that series? One Punch Man. Oh, okay. Age of Titans. Oh, okay, Age of Titans. Sorry, it took me a while to remember what those were. We just actually watched the finale for One Punch Man Season 2 last night, actually, me and the kids. It wasn't as good as the first season, I thought. It was still fun, but it wasn't as good as it still cracks me up watching that show. Yeah, I never did keep up with it. You know, the problem I had with the Age of Titans, or whatever it's called, was I just kept losing track of who was who. I really did. Let's see here. What's my favorite candy? I don't know. I don't eat a ton of candy. I tend to like kids candy more than adult candy, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not a huge chocolate person. I like chocolate. But I don't know that I like chocolate candy as much as I like little candy. Like, you know those little garbage cans that used to come with little bones in? I like that stuff. I still like it now. I just don't eat it very often. I like candy. Oh, I will say I like chocolate-covered jellies a lot. They're very expensive usually, but I like those. And chocolate-covered cherries, if after they're first made, like buy them right after they're made, they're also quite good. Chocolate-covered strawberries. Candy, I like Pez. I know it's dumb, but I think Pez tastes good. I like Tic Tacs. I like Tic Tacs a lot. I like peach rings. I like Jelly Belly jelly beans. Spree. Mentos. I like Mentos. Nerd Ropes. I don't know. Thoughts on Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I'd like to wait till the whole series is done, then I'll do a review of it. Have I backed any more hot sauce Kickstarters recently? I don't think so, but I did back the maple syrup Kickstarter that we talked about last week. I don't know if I backed a hot sauce Kickstarter recently. Okay, so Devin says, if a game doesn't already have components sorted in containers, do you sort all the resources, coins, tokens in their own piles, or throw them all together into one big bowl? I sort them out. Who throws them all into one big bowl? That's a monstrous thing to do. Is anybody like that? I mean, I know that there's various degrees of people wanting the stuff separate, and you can go too far, but I don't think I've ever put all... I guess I've seen all the components have been in a big pile on the side of the table before, and you just grab the ones you need, especially when there's not that many of them. But if possible, I like to separate mine out, for sure. Piano lessons. When should I start? You know, I'm currently teaching my kids how to play the piano using an app. Let me see if it's on my... It's called Simply Piano. And it's really good. I was actually pretty impressed with it. I use my iPad, and we put it on the keyboard. And it can tell when you're pressing the notes. And so it teaches you to play, but it also gives you background music. So you're playing with some modern pop songs or whatever songs in the background, and you play a few notes in them. And it's fun, but it's also teaching useful piano principles. And in absence of a teacher, I was pretty impressed with it. My kids they're not like great pianists or even close, but they are learning some here. And if nothing else, they're learning at least some basic instrumental skills. Have I ever stopped gaming with someone for personal reasons? Sure. German Shepherds are so great with kids if they have a good owner. She loves me the best, for sure. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess there's the whole dominant alpha thing, right? Because I don't know that I'm the nicest to her, but the kids are nicer than me. But she likes me the best, but she does like the kids, except she's not a huge fan of Jimmy. She tolerates Jimmy. She doesn't bother, but she does not like Jimmy and me hugging at all. Like every morning before I leave, we do a family hug, and the dog always gets annoyed. She's always trying to butt in there and definitely cut Jimmy off from hugging me. Can we have a list from the book? No, I apologize. The book is packed up for the studio move, so I can't. It seems Marvel United has a lot of bloat. For casual family gamers, what do you think about picking and choosing to play certain characters, order specific characters instead of getting a pile you might never play? I don't know about that, though. This is the least bloat I've ever seen in one of these style games. For example, I got Bloodborne. Bloodborne from CMON a few months ago. Tons of extra stuff in that. We got Zombicide, tons of extra stuff. I'm never going to play all those characters. I'm never going to play all that stuff. I've played everything in Marvel United. And I mean, I put some effort into that, but I was able to do it. And it's so easy to plug and play, it never feels like bloat. You're just like, I'll play with these characters and this villain. Done. It's so easy. So yeah, sure, you can go hunt down different characters, but I don't know anyone who's going to be selling just single characters. I don't know that you'll be able to pull that off. I have not had key lime pie M&Ms. I saw in the Four Squares review that practically everyone there went all in on Marvel United. Do you anticipate the same happening for X-Men United? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Throw them all into a big bowl. Pass it around. Let players take what they need when they need instead of reaching across the table. Plus makes setup teardown faster. I'm going to argue that it doesn't make setup that much faster. Teardown, sure. Do the people in your game group like this? I really feel like if I did this here, people would have a problem with it. And I don't play with people who are very obsessive compulsive in that way, but everyone can play the way you want, right? But whew, I don't know that I would like that. Does everyone else in the comments think that's a good idea? I don't know. My favorite meal for sausages. Oh, my favorite meat for sausages. Oh, probably pork. Ren Fair or State Fair? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've never been to a Ren Fair. There's one here in the area, and every time I consider going to it, it's like an hour away. I've considered going to it in the past, and every time I look, it's so expensive. And if I have all my kids, that's just really pricey. State fairs are usually not normally as expensive, and I grew up going to the state fair in Pennsylvania, which was always, I don't know, there was just something about it. It still brings back a lot of nostalgia to me. My favorite cartoon as a kid. My favorite cartoon was probably G.I. Joe. maybe Transformers. Seinfeld or Friends? I think I like Seinfeld better, maybe. My brother's a completionist. Would buying him the starter pack of Marble Champions as a gift be a mistake? I don't think so. I mean, if you want everything from Marble Champions, you can get it. I think you'll be able to get it all in the Kickstarter starting this week. I'm surprised at all the questions about Marvel United this morning, for sure. Would you rather be a sea turtle or a giant tortoise? I think I'd rather be a sea turtle. Did someone volunteer to put the Games Workshop Curse City together? Yes, Roy volunteered for that. What national food discourages you from visiting an otherwise intriguing country? No, none. That would never discourage me. I watch other creators. Some have quit, and some say that there is angst amongst the content creators. The ones dropping out will not comment on the reason. What can be done to fix this? I have no idea what you're talking about. There's angst for sure amongst content creators, I guess, just like there's angst amongst people in general. Content creating requires a pretty thick skin. I mean, as much as you all like to see me elbow drop a game, publishers do not appreciate that. People who have backed the Kickstarter game, every negative review I've ever done, I don't think I've ever done a negative review except maybe the DoorDash game, where it's been exclusively people going, yeah, right on. Most time there's a lot of negative stuff. If you go on Reddit right now and say, what do you all think of Tom Vasel? I guarantee you there'll be plenty of very, very, very negative comments. I tend to see these comments. I tend to read these comments. You just got to shrug it off for the most part. But I can see why a lot of people don't like that. That's probably why a lot of people get out. But I don't. There's like nothing if there's stuff going on behind the scenes between content creators, I don't know what we're talking about. Let's see here. You know, I've never done the Mentos and Coke thing. That's really weird. You think I would have. I've seen it enough on YouTube. I should probably do it with my kids at some point. Do the polar bear and the T-Rex on the shelf behind you have any meaning? They do not. Although I believe they're made by the same company, actually. Is it written on them? There's a company that's based in Miami, actually, that makes these animals. I forget the name of it. I ran into them one time at a Comic-Con type thing, and I love that stuff. They're expensive, so I don't have too many of them, though. Let's see here. Do you ever go out and see live shows? Live what? I mean, yes, I do. Now or before the coronavirus? Well, actually, there was a circus in town last night at the racetrack. We live near the Homestead racetrack. And I thought about going to see it, but by the time I found out about it, I found out about it too late. It was sold out. And then it rained pretty hard yesterday, so it's probably a good idea not to have gone. Do you know how to operate a forklift? Actually, I do. I drove a forklift for a few months at a paper. I worked at a book publisher. So I just drove around and delivered things of paper. I really did not like it because the forklift I drove, I don't know if all forklifts are the same, you have two pedals, one to go forward, one to go backwards, instead of having gas and brake. So you had to just change your mind. And I was always on pins and needles that I would drop a pallet of paper. Like when they were like, you get to be the forklift driver, I was kind of like, I don't necessarily want to be. And I did drop a couple pallets. And I was not real keen on that. Because everyone looks at you like, because they got to pick them up. Oh, good. Someone asked me if I'm reviewing Red Rising at some point. We'll review it when we get it. Is it safe to guess that the live plays are over until you finish moving? No, I don't think that's safe to consider. We might do a live play next week. There's a good chance of that happening. Are we playing that Merchant Cove unboxing and review videos? Yes. What kind of video games have you been playing recently? Not many, actually. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone. The new expansion came out, so I've been playing a decent amount of Hearthstone recently. I've been watching you for months and I haven't seen you wear the same combo of hat, tie, shirt. Well, that would be pretty hard to pull that off. The shirts, I wear the same 6 shirts, right? Whatever, I have the same 6 shirts. The ties, I can remember, I'm like, I haven't worn this tie in a while, so I wear it. So that's pretty easy. The hat, I just happen to pick it. I just pick a hat. So that's why. It's more the tie. That's the difference. I'm sure I've done the same combo. Not to mention I record 6 reviews in one day, so therefore you're seeing the same combo in all those. I've always had German Shepherds. None have ever got on with cats. My dog does wish they could chase every cat in the neighborhood, and I am surprised at the number of cats in our neighborhood that just wander around outside. I don't know if she'd get along with a cat. We floated the idea to my wife, and we were told not to get a cat. Yeah, but man, I don't think I'll ever get a different dog after this. Of course, I'm hoping to have many years with this dog. But man, I love the German Shepherd. And yeah, she does like to climb on things. She climbs on me. She climbs on the kids encourage it, of course. It doesn't bother me that much. Have you tried Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the Switch? Yeah, I played it for a while. Does lime have to be key in order for you to enjoy it? No, I like normal limes too. People are talking about a component bowl is great for games that are table hogs too. Yeah, but I'm also seeing people definitely are not agreeing with you at this point in time. Has your opinion changed at all on Cubitos? In your review, you mentioned it could go up. Actually, I just played Cubitos 2 weeks ago, no, I think my review on Cubitos is pretty much exactly the same. And I think because it works well, I thought it might go up, but I'll tell you, I feel like the special powers on the cards are not as clean as something like Dominion. I sent in a request to join the Shoots and Marbles Facebook group. Oh, well, you know, that's actually on me. I need to go in there and just add people because it doesn't do it automatically. I have to say, oh, there's 10 requests. Well, I guess I better get around to adding all these people in. I will approve them all. Let's see if you're there. I'll approve them all but you, Nathan. All right, they're all approved. Get in there and vote. It's almost time for me to pick the People's Choice champion for tomorrow. So, alrighty. Let's close this down here. Plus, the feeling of running fingers through a bowl of game bits is fantastic. Sure, but I have a bowl of game bits. Ha ha ha! Come to the dark side indeed. Do the Dice Tower employees do a potluck lunch Fridays or anything? No. Hello, Doug. Let's see here. Trying to catch up. Do you watch Invincible? Me and my oldest daughter watch it together. I don't think my wife would like it at all, and it's not for my younger kids. But me and my oldest daughter have really enjoyed it so far. I want to invest in a Kickstarter, but it's a big investment for a game I'm not sure if it will be good. Is there a way to know if it will be produced for retail after the Kickstarter? No, there's no way to know that. And no, you're right. There's no way to know for sure if it's good or not. You just got to kind of guess. That's one of the biggest downsides to Kickstarter. Now, if it's really fantastic of a game, they'll likely reprint it and sell it on Kickstarter again. Do you have a green thumb? I do not. I am not someone who's good at growing plants. I hardly ever play Unmatched. That is all on Roy. I played it with Roy a couple months ago. You know, we played together. But I don't know. There's just not anything that's really driving me to play it. Maybe if I got in it more, I'd play it more, but I just haven't. Have you played any good legacy games since you did your top 15? No, actually, I think I've only played one legacy game since then. I think the Vampire Masquerade one, right? I'd have to go through and look at all the legacy games. That wasn't my top 15. That was every legacy game I played. I just put them in order. So I'm okay if they don't make any more legacy games for a long time. My favorite constellation, Orion. I should try Legends of Runeterra. Yeah, you're probably right. Here, I'll make you all happy. I will download it right now. I hear it's free, right? So here we go. App Store. I'm assuming it's on here. If it's not on here, then forget it. Runeterra. Legends of Runeterra. Runeterra has in-app purchases. So does Hearthstone. All right, it's downloading. I'll try it out later. Did I mention the contest question yet? I did not. And I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's how we're going to do these contests, make people like search for the middle of the thing. So yeah, we have a contest. I'm glad it was brought up. Let me pull up the document because I have a question for the contest. So, give me a second. This is for a $10 gift certificate for Game Nerds. And to enter this contest, you simply need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. And in the subject line, you need to put the words grilled cheese. So there's my question. You can also answer this question in comments. On a grilled cheese sandwich, do you add anything else? You can just say no. If you do add anything else, tell me what you add to grilled cheese. Like, for example, I don't know the last time I ate a grilled cheese sandwich that did not also have onion on it. And sometimes I put tomato on it too. But that's what I always have, an onion and grilled cheese sandwich. So what about you? So we'll pick a winner. You got a $10 gift certificate for Game Nerds. By the way, I don't know if any of you saw, Game Nerds had an incredibly cool sale on Friday. And it was so popular the website went down, but they had cool sales. So keep an eye out. They have really good deals. And we want to thank them for our sponsorship of the show. And I especially want to thank Loopy for mentioning the contest because I would have forgotten otherwise. I'll do one every week for Q&A. Every week on Q&A, I'll have one of those. So this one happens to be in the middle of the show. Exactly. Do I still play Slay to Spire? Not right now. I kind of jump from game to game. So like I said, I've been playing Hearthstone lately. And then when I'm done with Hearthstone, I'll play something else. Wait, how could Loopy know that grilled cheese is the name of the thing? Did someone mention that already? Weird. Maybe it says it in the description of the thing. I don't know. But the answer, you need to talk about what do you add to grilled cheese. I also mention in the comments because I like to discuss this. As of now, would you put Marvel United as your #1 game of 2021? I would not, since it's a 2020 game. There's a lot of good games that came out in 2021, though. There's already at least 3 games that are clearly in my top 10 of the year, of course, assuming nothing better comes along. And I got a few that we haven't played yet that look like they're going to go in. Wait till you see my unboxing, boring unboxing tomorrow. Don't you hate it when you roll up to the drive-thru window, pay for your order, then are told, pull forward and I'll bring you your food up there? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but at the same time, if it keeps the drive-thru moving, I understand it. And I also have a big family, so my thing might be bigger than others. I hate dogs getting my furniture, especially if they shed. Yeah, my dog is shedding like a mad creature. The Kickstarter Jaws of the Lion scenario is not done yet. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Do you have an internal response to the phrase, how dare you? I don't normally get that said to me, I guess. Has anyone sent in candy pretending to be a marble? No, but I would know instantly that it was candy. I would not run a candy on the thing, no. Let's see here. Just jumping down, looking at the thing. Are you going to be reviewing the different upgrade bits from the BGG store? I'm going to be reviewing everything that they have at some point or other. So I just pulled some stuff out of the box that they sent me today, and I got a box sitting right over there. I'll do some more next week. Have you reached this life crossroad to color your beard or not color your beard? I was messing with some stuff that dyed your beard and hair. You all have seen that, I think, at certain points in the past. I would not be opposed to dyeing my beard a color, but and then the thing about it, I would do it more often, but then you're kind of tying yourself into what clothes you can wear because it's not going to match some of the clothes. Let's see here. Can we expect more solo live plays from you? Maybe. But now that the studio's back and running, you're going to see more group live plays from us for sure. Thoughts on September Gen Con? Well, I hope it happens. We're planning to go, so we hope to see you there if you're there. What's my daughter painting currently? Marvel United. She just finished, what is it? Nebula. And so she's painting Nebula, and then Falcon, and then Shang-Chi. And I was like, what made you pick those 3 characters? She's like, I just randomly pulled 3 out of the box. It's like, all right, cool beans. But I'm glad she's painting Falcon because the Falcon miniature is really cool. Have I played any of the Terraforming Mars fan maps? No, because I would have to print them out, and I don't like doing that sort of thing. Oh, here's the condiments here. Pickles on grilled cheese. Maybe. I don't know that I want them. Ketchup. No, sir. Ketchup. I don't put ketchup on anything except meatloaf, maybe. Maybe a few other things. A hamburger, sometimes. I'm not a big ketchup fan. It's too sweet. Tomatoes, yes. Bacon or prosciutto. Bacon's okay on a grilled cheese. I think bacon's overrated. I'd rather have ham. Ham on a grilled cheese sandwich is amazing. Of course, then it's kind of a ham sandwich, not a grilled cheese sandwich. Dijon, yeah, I like that. Worcestershire sauce, I agree. Sriracha, it's okay. I've had sriracha on the grilled cheese. Sweet chili sauce, yes, that's a good idea. Fried beans and mayos? No, sir, no. Am I particularly fond of a type of personal watercraft? Well, there's points for a question I've not been asked before. I've never ridden a jet ski. I know that I have a personal hatred towards banana boats because we rode a banana boat. Me and the kids rode one when I was out in Malaysia. And after the third time that everyone got knocked off that boat because they swing it and you all fall off. And climbing back on it was so difficult. I love speedboats, sitting on someone else driving it. I've enjoyed that. Kayaking, me and my wife did that when we first dated. I guess kayaking's okay, but probably a speedboat as long as someone else is driving it. No, I never played Red Dead Redemption. I probably should try one day. Oh, hot sauce. Sure, hot sauce on a grilled cheese is great. Loopy says it's in the show notes. Aha, well, I'm glad you caught it. I like to put... Now we're getting meta here in the Q&A. Let's see. I hope nobody tries to send a marble pretending it's candy. You know, again, we're not that stupid here, you know, when we get stuff in the mail. I love boring a box. Instead of backing a bunch of Kickstarters, I watch that, and then I don't have to sell it later to make room for incoming Kickstarters. I'm selling this unplayed. Sure, I am surprised at the number of people who do that. I get it. There's a lot of Kickstarter stuff out there. Let's see here. What does something like that marble maze go for cost-wise? Are you talking about our marble track? That marble track was custom made for the Dice Tower. So I'm sure it would be quite pricey to get it remade. But you can always email Woodfish Toys and ask him. He's done a fantastic job on that. That is such a great marble racetrack. We had a guy at our game group who never helped set up or take down in any game he played. When asked, he refused. He refused? Eventually, we asked him to stop attending. Acceptable? I guess. That's weird. I've had people not do it before. Usually, though, most of the time when people don't do it, it's because either they're forgetful and they just, you know, wander off when they're done, or they're in a hurry and, you know, whatever, I can accept that. Or sometimes they don't know where anything goes, so they're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Also very reasonable. I never had anyone refuse to do it. Like, hey, can you help clean this up? Like, nah. I can't see. That seems very odd, actually. Did you get LASIK surgery? Yes, I did. That's several years ago. In fact, I was wearing glasses the other day, and someone said, oh, LASIK surgery didn't work. No, it actually still works fine. But because I'm 45 almost, I'm starting to become farsighted, and I can't read as well as I used to, and that's just a thing of getting old. So I actually have a new pair, some glasses. In fact, I gotta go pick up a pair. It's over at the glass maker, so maybe I'll go by tomorrow and do that. Ugh, such a pain. Yeah, so I just wear them for reading now. What storyline did you like better, Avengers vs. X-Men or Inhumans vs. X-Men? Avengers vs. X-Men by a mile. But I've never been a huge Inhumans fan. A super chat. Hello. Have a great week. Regards from GT. Thank you. Very nice of you. Yes, I knew about Funkoverse Space Jam coming out. That's kind of exciting. I don't know if I'm as excited that it's the new Space Jam. I can get over that. Although I will say that the Bugs Bunny character from the Funkoverse Space Jam doesn't really look like Bugs Bunny, though. I don't know if I like that rabbit look. Do YouTube statistics show the average age of your audience? Yeah, I don't look at them very much. Do statistics like those influence any decisions you make on the channel? Not particularly. Been a few years since I've consistently watched your content. I've seen some big changes. I hope so. How would you summarize all the changes that have taken place at Dice Tower recently? it's all little stuff right now, recently, that behind the scenes. Like, we've been adding show notes to all our videos. We have someone watching a video now and putting show notes, our live videos up immediately, right away. We have more contests and more live plays. We're worked together as a strong team in that regard. Remember those sugary orange fruit slice candy they used to sell? Yes. Have you tried the gourmet version? No. Pickled red onions. Oh, yeah, those would be good on a grilled cheese sandwich. In Marvel United, what is the biggest discrepancy between Marvel characters you like and their ranking in the game? Which ones do you like the best but rank lowly, or vice versa? I'd have to look at the list again because I don't remember where I put everybody. But like Doctor Strange is not one of my favorite characters. I think he's okay, but he was my #1 in Marvel United. So there's stuff like that. Like, I think in my top 5 characters, like I just did my top 10 characters from Marvel Universe. That has nothing to do with where they'll end up on Marvel United. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I've flown over it. I've seen it from the air, but that's it. Is there a publisher you just won't bother with anymore, dud after dud? Sure. Probably. You never know. Would you play World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy Online? Probably neither. If I was forced to pick one, I guess I would pick Final Fantasy. But I would, the only way you could get me into one of these online games, if I was going to get into one, which I'm not, because I don't have the time for it. That's what it is. It's time more than not. I'd want to get into one that was kind of starting from the ground up, because you get into these ones that have been around forever and you're like a peon with people who have been playing it for ages, and I don't know all the ins and outs. I like the idea of online games. I used to play Ultima Online back in the day, as you well know. But I just don't have time. That's the biggest commodity of these things. I think they're a great deal for their money. I just don't have the time. Have the girls been enjoying reviewing on the channel so far? Sure. If they didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't do it. Tofu and soy are the best toppings for grilled cheese. No, they're not. Yeah, the old Through the Desert. So way back when we first started this channel, Holly's 17 now, but she was 5, right? So I've been doing this for 12 years, I guess. Or maybe younger than 5. But whatever age she was, maybe she's 3 and 4. So anyway, it's been a while since we've been doing videos on this channel. And I would have her sit next to me. I would be reviewing. She'd just sit there and she'd be cute. And I would hide candy in the game and she would eat it. Now, because the videos were in 240 quality, you couldn't tell what she was doing exactly. That was one of the benefits, I guess, of bad quality. You couldn't zoom in and see. And people constantly emailed me and said, "Do you know your daughter's eating game pieces?" It's like, yeah, I actually edit these videos. I would notice, you know. I would also notice my games were missing pieces. It was a shtick. We do different shticks on a Dice Tower, and that one phased out. I don't think my 17-year-old daughter would sit here on camera. In fact, she doesn't like being on camera at all at this point. The most you'll see of her are her hands in the Shoots and Marbles Championships. Holly helps sort out all the marbles there. The theme music for Miami Dice. Yeah, you know, I think it's great music too. It's funny because it's public domain music, or at least it's royalty music that I paid for. But it's not like specifically made for that show, but I really like it. How are you going to organize Story or Marvel United? I haven't decided that yet. In fact, I got a whole pile of boxes over there underneath a super hot game I can't wait to talk about. And I haven't figured out. I'm pretty sure we can fit almost everything in the base game and the Kickstarter extras boxes. And I'm just going to make 2 sets. So you can, when you go to the Dice Tower Library, you can borrow Marvel United. And in it, you're going to get the base game with a bunch of extra characters and villains. And then you can pick the other one, the Marvel, the bigger box, which will also have the base game in it and a ton of stuff. I'm pretty sure I can fit everything in 2 boxes. What I might do is I might put Thanos and his lieutenants in a separate box in the expansion. Keep that one separate. But I think the rest I'll put in the boxes. I actually think that it's much more easy to combine the Marvel Unite stuff than any of the CMON stuff in the past. Why are you producing so much content about Marvel United? It's an extremely mediocre game. It is? Well, then I wasted last week. I'm really sorry. I should probably spend more time putting together a public apology. I've done it in the past. But, yeah. You're right. Mediocre. What a waste of my time. And I apologize. I'll try not to let it happen again. Forgive me. Hat in hand. Let's see here. Seeing as board games are more or less a sit-down sport, do groups take breathers every couple of hours, or does your crew love to power through? I always do. I get up and walk around. We usually eat. I don't power through too many board games in a row. The guy in question always swept, so we're going back to the guy who refused to help clean up. He swept all the components in the box without sorting out his game. He expected us to do the same with our games. Oh, so yeah, no. Again, if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. And I've done that before. In fact, I've done it a lot. I've swept everything. I'm like, I'll sort this out later. Don't worry about it. That's my call. But if I'm helping someone else and I play their game, it's part of being a human to help put the game away. When you ranked the Ticket to Ride version 6 months ago, you said that you had received Ticket to Ride Poland. When can we expect to see the review? I don't think I'm ever going to review that one. I might someday if I'm really bored. But I didn't get a review copy of it. I went and bought it because it was a very small, unique print run. I got it just so we could have it in the Dice Tower library. New Space Jam should not be a thing, says Steve. No, I'm not going to be like that. I mean, come on. When you start talking like that, you start sounding like an old man, like, oh, they should never redo this. Oh, who knows? It might be better. It might be. It's not like the original one was amazing. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't great film work. Did you see the other basketball players that got to act in there? Michael Jordan was fine, okay. But the other basketball players? Come on now. Were you ever picked on as a kid because your initials are TV? Yeah, sure. I got made fun of a lot about that. It just never bothered me. I always thought, big deal. It's better than having BM as your initials or some other worse thing. You know, even Holly, I wanted to name Holly Ivy, but my wife pointed out HIV would be bad initials. You know, so Holly Ivy is a nice name. But I didn't do that. I thought about the initials before I named her. TV was not a bad thing. What show, Board Game Breakfast, Shoots and Marbles, Boring Unboxing, or my favorite to do, Shoots and Marbles by a mile. I love doing Shoots and Marbles. It's so much fun. I get excited. We're talking about it today. It's just fun to do. It's my favorite video to do of the week. I like doing the Q&As. Board Game Breakfast, I mean, I like most of my videos that I do. Some videos are harder than others to do, more work. The hardest reviews for me to do are actually reviews. But I love doing top 10s. I like doing, again, if I didn't like this job, I would not do it. Will we still be doing lots of YouTube content when cons come back? Well, we were doing lots of content when cons were here in the first place. Are you excited for the new Ghostbuster movie with all the kids? And not particularly. It just looks like an episode of Stranger Things to me. It might be fun, but it doesn't seem like it's Ghostbusters. Let's see here. Tom does not have MMO all the time in his hands. That's true, though. But here's the thing. Again, I like it. I really do like that stuff, but I also know I'll get sucked into it. I'll get sucked into it. I spent a lot of time playing Ultima Online. But you know what made me stop playing Ultima Online, which I played back in the day, was partially time. But my friend, one of my friends, got so into it that he didn't even, like, we scheduled a paintball day one day, and he didn't come because he was playing that. We were like, but we scheduled this weeks ago to go play paintball. Oh, yeah. Like, no, this game is not that important. It's just a game. And that was problematic, I thought. Listen, don't do this, please. Now that this came up here, please do not send me candy as marbles or marbles as candy. Please, that's not funny, really. It's just a pain in the neck. Please don't do it. Well, I put a lot of effort into Shoots and Marbles. I really do. If you send me a marble, I'm going to try to take care, take a nice picture of the marble, make an intro for it. That's a lot of work that we're just doing for fun. Please don't send the candy stuff. That's just going to clog up the works. Let's see here. I like this. Tom, did you get my email? I don't know. I don't know what the email is about. I bet that super hot game you can't talk about is Red Rising. It's not. I don't have Red Rising. When I get it, we'll play it and review it. Don't have it. Are there video games that you have played over from the beginning to end multiple times? Yes. Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 7 I both played at least 4 times through. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy Tactics I played through from the beginning to the end 4 times, maybe 5. I played Legend of Zelda. I played Breath of the Wild. No, I haven't played that through twice. I'm on my second playthrough of it, but I've only played through that once. But I'm halfway through my second playthrough. What else have I played through multiple times as a video game? Like all the way through. Well, I guess Civilization, but that doesn't count. I mean, I played Civilization like 80 times. I'm not talking about any Civ or adventure game, like a game you just go through and play. Oh, I played through Skyrim 4 times also. You recently reviewed Dive with a unique concept. What other theme do you think fits that? Caves, maybe? Well, they actually said there was like a space version of it. I forget what they said. There was a couple other versions that seemed interesting. I could just delete the videos, I guess. How much do you enjoy teaching a board game? I really like teaching board games. Now, some board games are harder to teach. I will not lie, when I'm at a convention and I look for player teaching, because I love to go teach games. But occasionally I'll see someone sitting there with like War of the Ring, and I'll go, yeah, I'll look for some other game. Because teaching that game is an exhausting effort. But if you're sitting there with most games like teach this, and I'm like, ooh, I know how to play that. Let me teach you, please. I love teaching games. How is Summoner Wars 2? Guess you'll find out on Wednesday. That's when the review goes live. Would I be okay with a Back to the Future reboot? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would watch reboots. I don't hate this as much as a lot of people do. Many times reboots do not work well. But sometimes they do. Look at Battlestar Galactica. You know, so sometimes things work well. Sometimes they don't. I just don't get that caught up in it. I mean, yeah, it's hard to imagine anyone else playing the Back to the Future characters, but who knows? Let's see here. Let's see here. Da, ba, da, ba, da, ba, da. What work activity takes up most of your time? Email, for sure. It's mid-April in the UK and it's 32 degrees. I'm sorry, but I was there during your summer. It sounds like you're in spring right now. Alrighty, lots of people talking about stuff. Oh, I see that it's time is up here, folks. I apologize. I am going to have to end here because I need to get back to reviewing. All right, so that's all the live stuff for today from us here at the Dice Tower. We're not doing a live thing tomorrow, so 5 more great games tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then Shoots and Marbles at 3. We have a Facebook group if you want to join that to vote for your favorite marble. But come by and join us for that. It is a lot of fun. Don't forget there's a contest buried somewhere in this Q&A. Find it, answer the question, and you too can win a $10 gift certificate to Game Nerds. Check them out. They're great. I'll be doing a video this week about the top best sellers from Game Nerds in March 2021. So until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you have been watching Q&A in the Dice Tower. I'll see you guys later.